Goodness gracious, these things are annoying. Yeah, pretty tough. Alright guys, welcome back. So as you probably saw, I've changed the game a little bit. The reason is because this game I'm probably going to end up catching up to my Let's Play. And if that actually happens, I'll have to pause the streaming thing. So there's a good chance I'll catch up, so that will probably when I go back to the other games. So I'm well aware there's some games that have not been completed or got that far into it at all. So yeah, I'm pretty aware of it. Now let's get playing, guys. Now I want to play this, not that one, or that one. What's the other one? It's been adapted. All right, we'll go into my settings. Blah blah blah. Oh right, here it is. So I'm going to delete. Yep, we've got 100% on this, by the way, guys. So I can't really show you the achievements, unfortunately, but I can do some of the game. I mean, I don't know how far we're going to get into it today because it's I'm just starting up. But I'm hoping to get something done. I want to make sure that you guys in the shorts are getting it because sometimes it freaking got this terrible tendency of unlisting it. And guess what it did? It unlisted it again, guys. I am so sick of it. It unlisted it again. I don't know why it does that. Done, say, bam. It should be listed now. Yes, it is. Okay, great. Alrighty, so yeah, guys, welcome to Final Fantasy. This is Final Fantasy 1 for a Pixel Remastered. Since I think this is a pretty good version of it, so I thought it'd be easier to do it in this one in the original. But yeah, first thing I want to do is I want to go on to load. I want to delete all these. I don't know how to delete. No, how do I delete games? That's interesting. I never seen. There should be a delete button here somewhere. No. Extras, basic areas. No, no, no. Options, configuration, maybe. Nope. Controller, no. Volume, no, 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 no. Okay, I don't know how to change. I don't know how to delete games. Okay, fine. They should have the delete button though. Should have a delete button somewhere here. Oh well. Yeah, unless you resume. Okay, fine. Let's do it. I don't know how I'm level 95 though. Alright, well, either way, let's just make a new game. Go to create. You suggested in. No, Frankie. Frankie. Oh my god. My friend's dog's name Frankie, guys. I might just name him Frankie because that's my friend's dog. Let's change him to Monk because he's my favorite. Chord. What kind of goods? It's okay, that's fine. And you okay, fine, we'll do that. Black mage, white mage, roy. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's get started. So guys, we're ready to start the game. Hopefully we'll get through this pretty quickly. I am going to make it a little bit easier, but hey, it is what it is. So the world's in darkness, apparently. Alright. Oh, that's not good. The winds are dead. Yep. The ocean stop. Oh, sorry, no, it says rage, not stop. The only one that hasn't shown off was the volcano. Damn knows, I've got to do something about that. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I get the like a rain nose thing and it gets like stuck. I get really irritated, so I have to do it that way. I should use a tissue. After a long journey, 4 young travelers did at last appear. Finally, yep. That'll be us. All right. All right. So let's get started. There are ways to deal with this game. I think you can also turn off the auto battles. I think on this one you can. Like, yep, we can. So that's going to be useful. We can turn the auto battles off if we need to. Now, I'd rather not. Well, what the hell? You can't go out. The king is searching for the province of warriors of light. Those crystals, you must see the king at once. Yes, sir. Alright, let's do this. Welcome, travelers. I am told you carry a crystal. Is this true? Crystals. Yep, it is the king's prophecy foretold. When darkness fills the world, four warriors of light shall come. Your Majesty, we cannot be certain those are the warriors who fall by the prophecy. Yet they stand here before us with the crystals. I cannot dismiss this as mere coincidence. Crystal bearers, there is a task I would ask you. Will you rescue my daughter Sarah? I will. Gorlin, a knight once in His Majesty's service, has abducted Princess Sarah. I ask for your aid in the name of His Majesty, the King of Corneria. Gorlin has taken refuge in the Shrine's Shire, which lies to the north. Oh, of course, we did attempt to save the princess ourselves, but Gorlin is the finest horseman in the kingdom. We had none who can match him. I have heard that you wish to journey to the continent to our north. The bridge link was lost long ago, making passage impossible. If you rescue the princess, I will have the bridge rebuilt as a token of my gratitude. Now go, warriors of light, and do not fail me. Okay. So that's what we're doing, apparently. Dancing downtown knows many other bits of information. If you find South Australia, try talking to her. She may know something that can put you back on course. Warriors of light have come at last. How long have we waited for this day to come? Gorlin is no longer the man I once knew. I beg you, please return my daughter to me quickly. Yes, sir. We're going to do that, guys. We're going to save the queen, the princess. I'm really... Yep. So on the... Okay, let's go into settings. There is something here we can do. I don't know if it's in this version. Oh yeah, there it is. Boost. Now I'm kind of going to cheat a little bit here. Not much. Sorry guys, my nose is so itchy. So what boost will do? Okay, XP and... How far does it go up? I need to do 4. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Leave it counters on. That should be enough. Or just make the game a little bit more smooth. It's not even a hard game. I could beat it with 1. I mean, if we really want to make it hard, we could make it 0. Where you get no experience at all. That's stupid, obviously. Or you can make it this one where it's really hard to get experience. But for the for our purposes, I think make it a little bit higher, just we'll streamline it a little bit better. Now let's get out of here and head to the we've got to go. We've got to go to town first, make sure we've got weapons that we can use, you know, magic and all that kind of shit. Make sure we've got prepared. I don't expect many people tonight, guys, because not many people watch this videos to begin with, so... Alright, we've got hammer, we've got the sword. Alright. We've got the sword out. We'll get the hammer out. And that's it, I think. Alright. Yep, that will work definitely. And the white mage wants a hammer. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go into the... Let's get some defense, our armor up, so we can basically try to make our way to it. Oh, yep, okay, we're gonna make 1 level armor. Oh, wait. Damn it, I wasted money on it. Oh, well, no big deal. I gotta sell it up in a way, so, yeah. Alright, defense is definitely a big improvement. Alright, now let's sell things off so we don't have to worry about anything. A lot of the stuff to sell off are going to be dirt cheap, so don't expect much out of them. Alright, back up. Alright, now, magic. I don't really care about magic too much. Okay. We're going to use that one. That one. And we'll use protect for just the sake of it. Now, we're going to go to the dark magic and get that one done next, and then we're done. We're prepared to go out to the world and start doing what we're going to do. So fire is useful, of course. Fire is useful. Thunder is useful, and every day to do. Alright, so I've got that sorted out. Now let's go and get this sorted out. We'll need two. Oh boy, probably need two of them. Alright, this is why I doubled the guild, guys, to make it a little bit quicker. So we'll try to make our way up there. We'll see how we go. Alright. Yep. Okay, I gotta get rid of that. He's more powerful without a weapon. The monk is more powerful without the weapon, or the black belt, or whatever they call him. I think he's called a monk. I'll leave that on because it's very light. Alright, let's get to the tower. They're already there. Man, they're not really spawning that much today, are they? Yep. Yeah, that's better. Alright, leveled up, guys. It won't take long to level up in this game, trust me. We got the stats boost, so yeah. Mystic Key, can't open that one, I'm pretty sure. There we go, now we're kicking ass. Oh, one more, guys, and we'll be at the next level already. And we'll be level 3 pretty quick. I hate it when there's 100 enemies. That annoys me. And it's even worse when we get killed in one hit. How do we get killed in one hit? I don't know. Are we gonna die? We are. We're gonna die. You know what? I think we're gonna die. We both leave. Yep. Now, guys, times like this is where it's good to have this ability. You can turn the counters off and we can just leave. So you see why this is a good feature? It just makes it easier to get back to base without getting attacked every 5 seconds. So my rule is to do that only if necessary. That's the first time I ever lost all of them like that. Luckily I didn't die, so that's a good thing. Oh yeah, I didn't expect them to all pass out like that. That was embarrassing. Alright, he's back online. That was embarrassing on my part. I don't know how I lost them all. They shouldn't have died so quickly, but yeah, we don't even have much magic. Okay, we might have to level up a little, get some coins. Yeah, so luckily for us, we just left, so we didn't get we did not get no experience for it, so now that we've got that sorted out, yeah. Yep, so I've got that sorted out. Let's go and get some experience. Some, yeah. You should have probably grind a little bit, at least the first few enemies. Alright, these guys will be easy. Alright, how much money did I get out of them? Oh shit, okay, we're getting some levels. Maybe a few levels. Maybe once we get to 4 or 5, then we'll go. I will have to get a protein drink, guys. So I need to hydrate up a little bit more. I'm okay now, but still a bit dehydrated. Yeah. It's gonna take a while before I get to the next level. If I have to, I'll have to go back into town, buy some more potions, and yeah. Yeah, we're doing good tonight. I'm so happy now. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna get much out of them. But we can make some gil out of it. Some easy gil. Once we get about 200, we'll head out to the temple area. Oh yeah, it's a good day, guys. It's a very good day. Oh, good enough for me. Now, there are probably going to be some enemies here in the town, in the next area, so let's make sure we buy potions. So potions are going to be a bit more important. 4 potions should be more than enough, guys. I think 4 potions will be good. So now, let's head to the, back to the Chaos Shrine. So hopefully this time we don't get hurt too much. We're already leveled up to some level, so... Crazy horse, huh? Damn. We almost made the next level. Okay, let's get to where we've got to go. Now we'll go in here, get some stuff, and then we'll fight the boss. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. There we go, level up to level 5. Okay. So they should be a bit more powerful now. We're already nearly at level 5. I can't believe we're that far ahead. Alright, this will be much easier. Not as many. Now guys, as far as magic goes, I don't really use magic that much other than heal. And some other bits and pieces. But yeah, I don't really use it. Because the reason I don't use magic in this game, because the magic system sucks. I hate this. I hate this kind of magic system. I rather like MP. It's easy. It's best better to work with. Number 2's got better magic stuff, but number 2 has its problems. Are they leaving? Oh my god, we're getting killed. Okay, we've got to heal him. Alright, let's get... Everyone else is okay. Let's go up with this one. Ghoul. I don't like the ghoul. Can't believe it almost knocked my good team member out. Potion. Tent. Oh, goodness. We'll go to this one over here. There's just one more to go to, and then we can fight the boss here. Oh boy, that hurt. Good, we got him. Oh my god, almost got the next level too. Alright. Now, if you're looking here, guys, and go to maps, it says there's 3 out of 13. And there is a big reason it's like that. And we won't discover that out too much later in the game. Actually, you won't find out until the end of the game, basically. Oh, don't you attack my people? How dare you? Alright, level 6. Okay, now we're getting there. Alright, we're doing good, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Yep, can't go in there. Let's heal up my member. I'm going to go outside first and use the tent to heal up completely. And then we'll come back inside and kill the boss. All right. Outside. We'll deal with the bosses in a minute. These guys are easy. If you enjoyed yourself, guys, hit the like. I do appreciate it. I'm taking it nice and easy tonight, guys. I'm not going to be on super long tonight because it's really late and all that. But I'll be on for a good hour or so, maybe a bit longer. Let's go back inside. We should be healed up. Yeah, we healed up. Okay, good. We're level 6. Let's go straight to it. The king will have no choice but to exchange the kingdom for his daughter's life. Cornelia will be mine. Who's there? Ah, the king's lapdogs. Do you have any idea who you're messing with? You really think you have what it takes to cross swords with me? Very well, I, Gordon, will knock you all down. Yeah, good luck on that. You're not gonna win, dude. Well, not really much of a hit, is it? That's a weak hit. Yep, just hit him like that. Keep going. Oh my god, God, that was embarrassing. That was very easy. That was embarrassing. Alright. We've got Princess Sarah. Let's get the hell out of here before something else happens. She came to rescue me. I am Sarah, Princess Cornelia. Words could never be enough to thank you. That's the first time anyone's ever defeated Gordon. You must allow me to show you my gratitude. Please accompany me to the castle. Yeah, so the game will just put you back at the castle. Now, it is a good game, guys. It's not going to be very hard to beat. Thank you for returning my sword to my side. There'll be no doubt that you are warriors of light upon the Lucan's prophecy. You should hear the prophecy in its entirety when I may. When darkness follows the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. If they cannot gather the shades of light, the darkness will consume all. The 4 crystals will never shine again. Now that I hear that the crystal can be found on one of the continents to the north, blah 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 blah. If someone like to the crystals is the only hope for ridding the world of the monsters that which plague it. So basically, okay, I gotta beat the bosses and shit like that. I will have the bridge to the north rebuilt as promised. I pray that you succeed in restoring lights to the 4 crystals and to the world. Alright, I'm gonna talk to her. This loot has been entrusted to the princesses of Cornelia for many generations. When he abducted me, Goblins took this loot as well. I want you to have it in my aid you in your journey. Yeah, it definitely will. We will obtain the loot. Alright, let's get out of here, I guess. Yeah, we already talked about that. What'd she say? If you want, you can mean here in Canaria. No, it's nothing. You should make preparations for your journey. Restore light to the crystal. She wants him to stay. So that's what she was trying to do, guys. Get him to stay. Now, we can't really do much in this castle either. Like, all the chests are behind rooms that require certain keys, which we have no access to yet. Now, while it's doing this, guys, I'm going to get a protein drink and hydrate up. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to go get a real drink. Yeah. So back to Final Fantasy 1, the Pixel remaster, of course, not the original. Because yeah, I'm pretty thirsty, guys. Well, what happens when you don't drink properly for a few days? All right, so we've got to fix up the bridge. So yeah, they get the bridge done, and then we can get across to the new continent. All right. There we go, done. Oh, I mean, they're faster than the current construction. What does this bridge have to do with the prophecy? The 4 warriors of light are here. They are in Corneria. Yes, we are. Well, we were. I'm leaving now. We've done this area for the time being. We can't really do much. What do we have? We've got a bit of money. Let's go and heal up. Buy some potions. And then head to next town, which is pretty decently distant. So we're probably going to get attacked by a few enemies and stuff like that. Alright. No, I didn't expect many people to come in here today, guys. I expected no one to be here, actually. So I'm a bit shocked to see a few people here, which is kind of cool. 20 should be enough, and we'll use like 2 more of them. That's perfect. We've got some health. Now, I did boost it a little bit, so we get XP a little bit easier and gear a bit easier. But other than that, nothing new. The only problem with this version, guys, is this. I've already done the beast areas on previous done, and because of the way the game's set, it considered it 100%. So, yeah, the beast areas are already done, which is unfortunate. Also, another reason I want to do this camera stuff now. So the quest began. Alright, as the 4 warriors of light, they felt overwhelmed by a great task destiny had placed before. Yep. They didn't even know the true significance of the 4 crystals they hold in their hands. The crystals that once long ago had a light that shone so brightly. Time for their journey has come. So I'm guessing that's the Canaria over there. And we're making our way across the river. The time to cast off spell of evil and bring the world once back more into the light. Oh yeah, that feels good, guys. I'm so thirsty. But now, I've had like 3 drinks and this big drink, and I'm still thirsty. I hope I'm not coming down with something, because that could be an indication of, like, maybe I'm sick. But I was pretty dehydrated, so probably not. But I'm not as thirsty. I'm definitely slowing down a little bit. Okay, where we going? Why? I was afraid we were going to do that. I totally forgot about that magic. As I said, I don't really need to use it. We don't need to go up this direction particularly at the moment. We'll come back to that very soon. We're just going to go this way. Okay, I did not expect to be that many of them. Alright, let's go for it. I didn't expect him to show up either. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, just one dude down there. We can beat him easily. Oh, we are getting your ass kicked by him. Alright, he will give me, before he gave me a bit of money. Let's go in, get some, give him the magic potion. All right, let's move on. All right, let's go down. Okay, next town's right in front of me. These two are going to be a pain in the ass if they get a chance to hurt me. Only if they attack my main character, they don't do that much damage. All right, there we go. We're already on our way there, guys. Next town's right here, ready to go in. How much money do we make out of that attack? 600. Shit, that's a lot of money considering. Please help us. Okay, help you with what? Those blasted pirates that are running around looting and pillaging like they own the place. Oh, better deal with that. Let's go and heal up, guys, and then we'll go and beat the pirates up, like, badly. At first, is to heal up, because we need to heal. Man, I'm feeling better now. Alright, Blake, we're gonna deal with you. You've got cannonballs of steel to be taking on the Great Pirate Blake. Whatever, we're not gonna lose. We're not gonna lose the pirates, okay? Let's just be honest. We're gonna obliterate every single one of them. The good thing about them is they're weak as shit. They're not that strong. Considering to go for my strongest character, not gonna hurt him that much. I've hurt him though. Stop attacking him. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Oh goodness. No, I cannot. I have to stab you. I want to stab him, but the game won't let me. He gave me the ship, so I can't really complain. Okay, so we've got what we needed here. Basically, we just leave if I want to. But I think we should get some armor and shit and get ready to get out into the world. Nope. Nope. I don't want to. Okay, $600. Not a bit much. Yep. That's okay. And god damn, we need freedom. Alright. Free them. Yeah, okay. We're doing good there. So what do we need? You, no. You, iron armor. Yep. Okay, great. You, shield. Alright, that's all I needed. I'll sell some stuff off, because why not? What's the point of keeping everything if we don't need it all? Quite worth keeping for now. Alright, let's get going, guys. Now, we've got to buy some weapons, because we've got the armor stuff already. Alright, let's buy some weapons, guys. Magic would be nice too, but not really that important at the moment. I mean, we'll get magic, obviously. We'll probably come back here a bit later and get it. Alright, 15. Yeah, I'm more into the sword stuff, so we'll give him the sword. Alright, that's about it. That's all I need to do. Not surprised we actually had the money for it. Get you $4. What do we do? $4. Now, what do we need for magic in this shop? This area? I'm pretty sure we can get magic pretty easily here. Okay, so I need a little bit of energy. Magic's a little expensive, but we'll come back here a bit later. Don't worry too much about it. The next part of the game, where we're going now, you will get a lot of experience and a lot of money, so don't worry too much about it. It's not that important. Let's go this way. No, fleeing. Okay, they're already fleeing. We haven't even fought them yet, and now they're fleeing. Alright, that's not much of a hit. For the most part, guys, 2 of them are going to do damage, are going to be the 2 top ones. The other 2 are more support, like with more support type of thing. Where we're going straight down. Alright. So yeah, we're already doing pretty well. We're dying here because they keep hitting us with strong attacks. He's dead. Okay. Now I could just run. No, I'm not going to do that. We can beat him. Look, 2 of them are going to win, but hey. I can't believe I lost them all. Alright, fine, be like that. Excuse me, guys. Just give me a second. So guys, I had to do this. Alright. Sorry guys, I had to do this. Sorry, I had to do that. I had to write it in. I had to do it. So guys, usually I don't get distracted with social media these days. But if you're one of my best mates, oh my god, I forgot about this. I gotta leave. I gotta leave. Gotta leave. Yeah, so I gotta go back and yeah, we struck our lives. We're kind of bruised here. Ah, right. So glad we can leave. Nope. Not dealing with them. That's a lot of them. I should probably... I don't know why we're dying so easily, to be honest. Usually I don't die this easily. Uh-oh. Let me go. Let me go. Damn, they really want to murder us, don't they, guys? Okay, so what? How did they beat us? I have no idea. That was just unfortunate. There's the tower. There's where we're gonna go. Yeah, the further you go, the harder it gets. All right, let's get back to it. So, guys, I do appreciate it when he's on here, by the way. Like I said, it's not going to be a super long one. I mean, I'm surprised I'm doing it today, to be honest. Well, I was planning to do it tomorrow morning. I'm thinking about taking tomorrow off on Minecraft and just focusing on this channel. I'll go back to Minecraft on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. I don't need to do it every single day. Same with this channel. This channel probably won't be on every single day either. Some days I'm gonna just do one. Sometimes I'll do both. It depends how I feel. Do we have everything with me? No issues. No problems. Good. Looks like I can do a bit here. I can already buy some upgrades. Like Blizzard. Attack. Dark. Definitely that's going to be useful. I don't know what that is. Blinding with darkness. It's not really useful, but hey, fair enough. So all we need, guys, is three more. So it's about, okay, so about not even no, it's 750 gil. We're already almost at 250 now, so maybe. I mean, we could probably get it done pretty easily around the area, but you know me. I'll push my way downwards. Gotta make sure we don't let them die. I've got to think. Look how much they do hurt you. I'm not gonna lie, they are pretty strong. Alright, okay, no. They are hurting, I'm not gonna lie. They keep attacking the same person. Alright, attack him, attacking my main character. Don't attack him. Why are they hurting us so much? Why are they killing us? They're not that strong. Does the game punish me for putting the thing up a bit higher? It's the only thing I can think of. But normally I don't do this. I don't push so fast, so maybe that's also what's going on. Yeah. Back we go. We're bringing back to life. How much money do we get out of that? Oh god, 1,000 kill. One battle is almost worth 1,000 kill. But at least that's nice. That was really yeah. Yeah. Alright, we'll do that. Save here. Okay, we'll go back. Hey, what's going on, dude? What's going on? Programmer dude, what's going on? I didn't see you in Minecraft earlier today. I was on Minecraft a few, no, it wasn't that long ago, maybe 3 hours ago. The second I got home, basically I went on it. Today's been an eventful day, which I say that. So yeah, I'm just playing Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remastered, so it's basically a, yeah, it's a remastered of the original Final Fantasy, which was done back in 1980s. Trust me, this one's much better than the one back then. Alright, how much money? Damn it! I want 1,000 gil. I want 1,000 gil. That's alright, dude. I mean, everyone gets busy. I noticed there's someone being promoting on our thingo, our Discord. I'm gonna be setting a rule out. Actually, do some rules tonight or tomorrow morning before I go to the gym. Because I'm gonna put an end to this self-promotion bullshit that I've been seeing. So I'm going to be making a rule with no self-promotions at all. I mean, you can do it if you DM people, that's fine. DM is okay. It was, direct message, obviously, it's fine, you can do it that way. But not when it comes to the Discord itself. Do I have much money? Oh, yeah! There we go. We've got the money, we've got the money, we've got the money. I can do what I want with it. But yeah, so I did see that. Okay, already done this one. I've got to go and do the white mage. Yeah, it's alright, dude. I mean, everyone gets busy. Everyone has a life. Everyone has a life, guys. Well, apparently I don't, but for the most part, people have a life. To be honest, if that was true, I had no life, I would be streaming all the friggin' time, so you can tell that's not true. Alright, lightning. That was a pretty good one. So yeah, I'm just taking it nice and chilled today. I'm probably gonna do this for a little bit and then I'll probably just do my normal videos and that's it. Speaking of videos, I think we're done here, yeah. So we've bought everything in this town, so we're gonna try to get to the next area. Hopefully I can get there without dying every 5 seconds. I keep losing party members. I don't normally die that much. And I even have the XP gathering thing boosted, so yeah, so probably tell guys I like Final Fantasy. I want to get the Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered stuff completely done. 1 to 6. That's my goal. Once we do that, we can move on to other newer games, older games, you know, games like that. Anything that's interesting. And I will be taking requests. I already got someone who's actually been nagging me about a game. She hasn't been, hasn't been on for a while. Probably got sick of asking because I haven't had the chance to buy that game. I do want to get it though. It looks really good. Now, at one point, guys, I'll actually say this. I had my computer being a complete... But basically, I'm going to say it. I don't know if YouTube's going to like this. But it was basically being cunts. Or it was just being a... Yeah. There's nothing else I could say. What was happening was it was crashing randomly. And I ended up figuring out why it was crashing randomly. Apparently, there's an option in the command control panel. In the battery, in the power settings. Basically, it was like fast... I think it's like fast boot or something like that. For whatever reason, my board does not like it. So it crashed a lot. And I did some updates as well and shit like that. And yeah, it's been running perfectly since. It's not crashed at all. It hasn't even slowed down. But yeah, once I start doing good stuff, guys, yeah, if I do, like I said, when it comes to financial stuff, especially if the channel starts doing cashy things, a lot of the money will go back into the channel and the computer itself, because the computer needs some upgrades. Like, for example, it needs a water cooling system. The computer, the standard fan cannot cope with the cooling it needs. It can't do it. Okay, we're going, oh boy. Stop attacking my, oh my god. Who dares to attack me? Oh, I've got you out the way. Yep, that one. But yeah, that's good. I also do want to take game requests as well. Newer game requests. And I may even consider Roblox. Maybe. If there's enough complaining about it. It won't be a permanent thing. It won't be like Minecraft or anything, but at least some games on it. Also, that's type of stuff I'll probably, if I do it, I'll probably play a little bit on it on the main channel, and then I might move a lot of content to my extras channel. So, yeah. I mean, that channel doesn't have a lot to do, so I'm supposed to be working on it, but I haven't done anything on it lately. I'm going to start going through it, working out what we can do. My main goal at the moment, guys, is to do my Let's Play of the Final Fantasy 13. Once that's done, I get rid of that profile. So I no longer need 3 profiles, I only need 2. That's it. I don't need any more because I know how I want to do things in the future now. And how we're going to go. Right, we're in a new area, guys. This area is going to be a pain in the bum. I don't know. What the hell? I hate my phone! I tried to put something up and my phone done this stupid thing. Let's. I said let's hope, but I put that's hope. Fucking stupid phone. Yep. Alright. Man, I really gotta be careful what I do on my phones. Thanks guys for watching, by the way. I do appreciate it. What else do we need to do tonight? Trying to think. Alright, so we've got that sorted out. Can we buy new weapons? How much money do we have? Okay, nearly 3,000. Alright. Don't need it, don't need it. Oh, actually, we'll get you to get that. Like first. Yep, we'll get you the knives, so that's going to have to get a little bit more than you're doing. Not, oopsie, went too far back. I'm supposed to go to equip, not... Alright, so that's a little bit better, but yeah. Once you get to Final Fantasy 3, guys, it's much better. Even number 2 is better. When it comes to using the white mage and the black mage normal attacks. Just on this version, it's really bad. Get real, I'm not doing that one. I can do you though. Okay, 1 for you and 2 for you. Alright, let's go into here. A helmet? Nope. Nope. Aha. A patient's gonna drop, but that's only because of that. Oh, did I buy one too many? Yeah, I think I did. Damn it, I gotta stop doing that. Staff, we can get rid of that now. Leather hat, we can get rid of that too. Sword, we can get rid of. And everything else, I think we've got great. Now let's go and make sure we have some HP, guys. My HP is more important. My items are going to be more important. I'm a sage. When the time is right, the future is revealed to me. I feel like potentially to end. Oh, okay, you're not a sage. Just someone that says you are. Doesn't make you one. The future doesn't just, you know, come to you like that. I want to make sure that we have a few things. One, I want darkness out the way just in case, because I know how this game likes to throw things at you. I want to make sure we have about 6 of them, and then the rest can be potions. I know how this game works, guys. This game's got this terrible tendency of screwing you over. So yeah, we're making sure it doesn't do that. Let's get out of here. Alright, next thing we're going to do is go to the castle, and then we're going to head out. So the Alpen Castle. What's going on? Astros curse has put our prince into a deep sleep from which he cannot wake. Please, will you not aid our slumbering prince? I tried it, but I don't know what I can do. I'm not a wizard. Oh. I'm not, at least the other two are. Yep, snoring away. At least he's sleeping peacefully. The princess slept under Astro's curse for 5 years now. There must be a concoction that will arouse one who sleeps. So, but where? Yeah, there is a way to wake him up, but to do that, we've got to go to an area. Okay, let's talk to you. The dwarves live in a cave on the western edge of the Alanian Sea. They're a friendly bunch. Okay, so they're not dangerous. Okay, good. Where are we going? The dark elf Estros stole into the castle of Blessed Church from our prince. Then Estros gave away some of this. Okay, yep, of course he did. Of course, the guy still treasure that's not his. So that's his main What there was another room? Okay, maybe not. Alright, let's get out of here, because now we know what we've got to do. We've got to figure it out. But first, we've got to go this way. Alright, we're going to the next area. It's the first dungeon, guys. You've got to be careful not to die here, because these guys can kill you. Especially the middle one, the pepper ones. Yep, okay, now, ooh, that's a good hit. Okay. Yep, alright, now, okay. Not as dangerous as they were. Okay, so they're 20. The hit points must be like 20 because, yeah. Alright, let's head to the our first area. Now, there's not a lot of areas to explore, to be honest. But the long ass. That's what this game has, like... Final Fantasy 3, I believe, has a lot of areas. But they're short. Like, incredibly short. Oh. But yeah, I'm enjoying it anyway. I mean, I'm going to keep playing, guys. I mean, I'm going to get more members and stuff. So I've got to be a bit more consistent. At least try to be more consistent. Damn. What level is he up to? Alright, well, level 11. So most of them are on that level, huh? Yep. Okay. So I've been on here for about an hour, according to this. Yeah, it's probably about an hour. At least I know it's accurate, so I actually got the stream time here. The stream time says about an hour and 3 minutes, but that's probably because it took me a while to get booted. Okay. The first area we're going to go to is this way. The right way is this way down here. Now, you can see there's 18 chests. Let's get going. There's no point piss-patting around. Let's get going. Hopefully we get through here quickly and we don't have too much difficulty. There's only one group of enemies in here that should give us a real hard time. Oh no, a few actually group of enemies that will give us a hard time. One will be the green slide sphinx, which I won't even bother fighting. I won't waste their time. And the second are like scorpion type of things. Which probably run into the next room. Yeah, this room. This room's where the scorpions are. Okay, I'll go this way first. Alright, let's go. One dead. Okay, no other one's dead. Alright, I got poison. Beautiful. Why I'm not surprised. Someone's always getting poisoned in my life. Yeah. Alright. And we're also going to attack us, but I don't care. We're leaving. I don't want to deal with these idiots, okay? Let's just be honest. They're not worth my time. These guys are not worth your time, okay? Don't waste your time on them. I mean, if there's one in the enemy, of course it's fine, but yeah. Okay, we've got, okay, 2 more down there and that's it. We can get out of here. Now, these, oh yeah, these guys are pretty annoying too. I was going to say, don't you dare attack my, black belt, I'll be really annoyed. Oh, thank God. Oh, no. You're lucky for us. Alright, black belt's leveled up. Good, level 11, okay. Make sure we keep him healthy, guys. We don't want him to die. Especially him. He's doing pretty good, though, in the HP department. Alright, how much money do we have now? Okay, 2,600. I mean, after here, guys, we could technically leave, go home, get some more items and stuff like that and come back. Yeah, I'm pretty good, guys. I'm ready to go. We are getting there. It's a very slow game, guys, and not a lot of good clips I can get out of this game either. But there will be some clips, bosses and stuff like that. But like I said, 3 hours is good time for this game, or any game really. So that's where I'm going to aim for these streams. Minecraft is usually between 1 and 2 hours though. Okay, let's get out of here. Now, should I keep going or go out? I think we should keep... Why they come all the time? Now, where are those scorpions, anyway? You son of a bitch, you guys... They poisoned us before we left. Like the act of the final revenge. I don't know if we'll be using any of that darkness stuff, but I think it's mostly poison here. Yep. As I said, we're doing pretty good today. So once I'm done here, this is the plan for the rest of the day, guys. Or night, I should say, because it's suddenly dark. 1 is dinner time. Dinner time's very important. 2nd, we'll be doing my Let's Play for Minecraft and then doing what I gotta do for my other channel. Alright, let's get going. Yeah, I'm hoping to get through here before we need to finish up. That would be good, wouldn't it? The way things are going, it probably will. What time is it anyway? Let me check my clock. It is about 10 past 7. I'm debating if I should leave and come back. I think we should. Why? Because why not? Basically, we can restock, get some more potions and stuff like that. So when we get further into it, we don't have to worry about it so much. Why are these guys here? I mean, I could easily turn this stuff off, obviously. I mean, of course I could. But the only time I really turn it off is if we're in danger. If we're dying or something like that. But yeah, other than that, I don't turn it off. Because I'd rather get more experience. I mean, if it gets to a point where experience is not, it's just not enough experience, then maybe I'll turn it off. But for the most part, no. Alright, they want to flee, but they can't. We're severely overpowered now, guys. Yep, every single one character is strong. Damn it, I wish I'd die one hit. Alright, he's getting a bit hurt though. He always gets hurt easily because he's got next to no armor. But yeah, guys, I'm going to say this. Today's mission was to do some cleaning up and fixing up my bed. Do you think God, well, whatever you guys want to call him, just let me do that today? No. I couldn't even get, what the bed, I fell asleep like 12, 1 o'clock. I got up at 2 with messages coming through. And then, yeah, like I said, I made a promise to him and I keep my promises. I won't break my promises, especially if I make it to my mate. It's never going to happen. Or actually, one promise I might have to break though, but I'm going to plan something out tomorrow for it. So we're going to do some music. I want to get like a music player for my Discord. Guys, what do you think? Do you think a music player on my Discord would be a nice thing? I want to get something like that where they can put, like, you can look for songs on Discord and all that. I can't do it on streams because, you know, YouTube will have a bitch and moan about it, which everyone else, all the other game companies do too. But I'll be able to do it for Discord. So I'm thinking of that. I'm gonna have a look. Is there a Discord bot where I can, you know, we can put some music on it? Alright, let's go Discord bot. There is, but I'm pretty sure you got to pay for it. Patreon, okay. Interesting. Okay, I gotta give it a shot. I found something called jockey music. It seems to be pretty good. So it might be something to look into. I mean, maybe even do some movie nights or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know yet. Because I think it'll be fun to have some communication with everyone. Now, doesn't mean I'm going to be on in the 24 hours a day, but everyone else can watch movies with other people and all that stuff. Which would be kind of cool. But definitely go and look into it, okay? I'm not going to... Alright, I don't need that. I definitely don't need you. Antidote, I don't need 100 of them. But we need a bit of this. We do need a lot of antidote though. How much do you think we need? Could you say about that much? Perfect. That's as much as we need, guys. I don't think we need to come back here again. So yeah, I am looking into fun things for Discord. But also I'm going to test them on my test server. So I've got 2 servers, guys. One's my main server, and the other one's my test server. So I usually use it for people who want to be a mod. I'll test them out, see if they're any good. And make sure I've not got any hacking things. Alright, let's go for it. Oh boy, we're getting ass kicked. Stop going after the... Okay, now we'll get... These guys are really annoying because they generally come in a pack. Well, they are wolves after all. Wolves generally hunt in packs, don't they? Alright, level 12 or 13? 13. We're already at 13s. Shit. Okay, we're doing pretty good. Let's see. Just one? Yeah, one. Probably 2. Alright, let's get going. We're not even there yet and we're already using healing potions. I mean, good thing is we're in the next area. Next area is not too complicated. Oh, my back is getting sore, guys. I'm tempted to get a pillow and pack it under my ass. I might do that, actually. What do you think, guys? Get a pillow and just so I can sit on it? Because my ass is getting really sore. You know what? Give me a second. I think I'm going to just do just that because it's sore. How many chests have we done? 4. Okay. Ah, my pillow. It's nice and cool too, so it's not hot like the rest of this house. Oh. Yeah, that's feeling better. Oh, now it's made me a bit higher. I've got to put everything up a bit higher. But yeah, there we go, guys. I just had to get something to sit on. My ass is getting so sore. And the worst thing is I probably got to go toilet again. Been one of those days, I think. Alright, these guys are going to be annoying, but... Isn't it funny that these guys aren't technically strong, just poison you all the time? And yet, we're still winning, and I'm not even getting poisoned yet. There we go. Alright, cool. We got poisoned, but we were right. I'm curious about what happened to the scorpions. The scorpions usually show up every 5 seconds for me. Last time I did this on my Let's Play, I had scorpions attack me every 5 seconds. Now I've got none, and now I've got to go talk. So I'll be right back, guys. I apologise again. Gotta go, gotta go. Ugh. All right, guys, back. Had to go to the toilet. Long toilet. Goodness gracious. Hopefully we get through here. Let me just put my phone back on charge, actually. It's in my pocket and it's burning a hole in my pocket. Oh. What? Put you there. Put you there. All right. All right, guys, we're ready to go. Goodness gracious, goodness gracious, goodness gracious. Sorry about that. Toilet run. How my body is. Oh my god, it's so tired and so hot. Alright, where are we going to go? Not that way, obviously. We'll start from the bottom left. Okay. Start going down this way. Alright, let's do this. Had to get a drink of what, lemonade. Thirsty still. Mmm. Alright. Nope, I've moved my drink bottle out of the way too. Kind of in the way. Oh my god, I almost knocked my drink over. Alright, let's get back to it. Hopefully, we're not dealing with these guys. These guys are annoying. Luckily for us, they're only in certain areas. Just not worth your time. Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck. Alright, so you can go that way. Alright, board. Okay, I got that. I already got that sword, guys. So not really going to help me. And okay, what levels off to? 13, 12s. Mm-hmm. Alright, one more to go and then we can get out of here. Oh. I gotta remember to stop doing that. Oh, no big deal. They probably would have been really hard anyway, so luckily for us. Alright, this time we do it properly. I mean, no running away unless we've got to. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, we're in the next area already. The last area of this area, guys. Alright, hopefully we can beat him. But oh, I wish you'll stop attacking my character. He's so useful and yet he gets attacked. Yeah, but heal him up completely because he keeps getting obliterated. No one else gets attacked, it's just him. But yeah, it is what it is. Can we actually beat these guys? The answer is yeah, okay. We can actually beat them. But they're generally resistant to our attacks, but... eventually you'll beat them. Especially with only two of them. Alright, potions, and let's get out of here. Alright. No, I don't think so. There's too many of them. There's like one, yeah, I don't care. Maybe two, I don't care. But three, it's a bit too many. Probably useful because I'll probably need it. Generally, I'll leave, but I want to fight these guys. They attack him, it's good because he's the strongest one there. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting hurt. Not as painful as I expected. I was expecting it to be a brutal. I also want to make sure that the game's playing the way I want it. Just make sure it's okay. And it's not. No, it's working fine. Alright, we don't want to get caught in that situation again. Alright. Oh, goodness gracious. It's gonna be a slow process, but we'll get there. At least we didn't have to run out too many times, like once. So we'll go down to that one and then that one. Okay, so we've got this row. Yep, we've got this area here and that area over there. Alright, we'll go downwards. Yeah, no. I'm not doing that. We're leaving. Leave. These guys are a pain in the ass to beat. They're not hard or anything. They won't murder me, but they're resistant. They're relatively resistant to attacks. Now, this is the one I want to go to. Alright. Potions. Okay, great. Go to the next one, and that one over there. And then we'll go back up and grab the last two as we leave. Down here, guys, we can't do at the moment. We need a certain key to unlock them ones. That's fine. We'll get there. Alright. Leveled up. Good. Level 14. Yep. So it must be the next one, yeah. Next one has one, and then we go up from there. Cool. Alright, next one's got what we want, though. So we've got to be careful on that one. Are they leaving? They left. Probably no, because I don't stand a chance no more. Especially when he hits them. Now, there is a boss battle in here, guys, so it's make sure we're strong enough to beat it. No, it should be fine, though. We're well and truly over. I think normally like level 10 or something. Let's see how we go here. Oh, goodness gracious. Obliterate one shot. Okay, Alright, I might have to change. Will you attack already and just kill him? Thank you. Wait, now you hit him. Let's go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, we won? No. We won. Easily. Okay, it was not as hard as I suspected. I was expecting it to be a lot harder. So we got the crown, guys. Now, let's get the hell out of here. Let's restock our health, because I expected us to lose a lot of it, but not nearly as much as we did. We did not really lose that much. Alright, let's get going. Alright, now I'm starting to fatigue out myself, so there we go. Potion, cottage. Okay, last one's over there, and then we can leave this place. Oh, we'll have to come back though. Alright, we've got that one, that one. Him, I don't know how strong he is, but pretty strong apparently. So we went from like with sheets, they were really easy. Copper in. Okay, that can be given to anyone basically, I think. No, is that gonna help me at all? No, it's gonna make my defense crash. But it might help you guys out. Yep, definitely yours. Alright, let's go. We've got no need to be here no more. Well, at least not yet, anyway. We can come back if we want to a bit later, but we'll probably come back a little bit further down the track. We don't need to come back here urgently. So yeah, we're doing pretty good, guys. I've got up to an hour and a half, so I'm a little fatigued, but not that bad. I think we'll just keep going, guys. I mean, I did have a few good people here earlier, but yeah, I had to keep going. I've got to start figuring that out. So today I was going to have pasta tonight, but I didn't buy what I needed because I'm an idiot apparently. And I want to start, like, there's something I want to do for tomorrow, so I'll have to do that tomorrow. Yep, we go up that way and we're out of here. Oh yeah, we've got lots to do tomorrow, guys. I want to start planning everything. Yeah, so I want to... Alright, we're out of here, guys. I'm basically out. I was expecting this to be a lot harder than it actually is. But yeah, after this, guys, I'm going to have to do that. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'll have a nap, actually. Because I'm extremely tired. Again, with the fatigue. I'm starting to figure out what's going on now. I think it's the bottom part of the body. Hey, what's going on? Charging faster. Whatever. Oh, give me a break. These scorpions are not outside. I didn't know the scorpions are out here. Wait, what the hell are they doing out here? Oh, they're dying in a way. Yep. How dare they attack me outside, guys? Alright, let's get rid of the potion stuff. The antidote, and then we'll head up. Okay, normally they don't attack you out here, so I don't know why they came out. Let's go for it. Not really strong now, are they? Alright. So yeah, guys, we're doing some stuff now. Now there is Western Cape. Alright, there's the king, or the fake king I'll call him. Alright. Okay, so he's a fake king, guys. He's not the real king. You fools fell right into my trap. I am Ashos, the king of the dark elves. Oh, of course you are. But you're not very powerful, so watch out, guys. But you can instant death you. But if you can combine power of the crown you hold and the crystal eye I very possess, I will become the true elf king. It is useless to resist me. I will take what is mine by sheer force. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work for me. Of course you're gonna use it. So I'll use that and that. You can use that and this one on. Fire's gonna hurt a little bit. A lot, actually. Alright, he's back to normal. He's back to normal. Great. Now, off attack, attack. You need to use magic, guys. Who do you need to heal? Probably. Yeah, probably him. Magic. I don't know if it's gonna. Oh shit! I forgot about that. Attack again. Okay, magic. Heal you. You'll use your magic again. Magic's really annoying. I hope it's not enough to kill them all. And now I win. But one more hit, I win. That's rude. But oh well, no big deal. Always gonna have that issue. Okay, 4,000. They should have all leveled up. Alright, now I've got the crystal eye, guys. We've got to go and give it back to a certain person that we did not actually go into. So I didn't need to do it. Just got to get out of here now. So yeah, now we've done that, we can get out of here. So we get now we'll get the mystic key and we can go to areas and unlock areas. Yep, about mystic key. But anyway, guys, let's heal my team member. That's why I don't give a shit that he's dead, because I can bring him back to life. And how much money? Oh god, we've got that much money. I think we're rich. We're filthy rich, guys. We've got more money than we know what to do with. Okay, these guys are not as hard as the boss was. Oh, I'm gonna have something to eat soon, guys, because I'm starving. I think we can push it to about 2 hours. If I can push it to 2 hours, I'll be fucking happy. Because I want to make 2 hours like the bare minimum. Now it's about an hour and 48 minutes or some shit, so it's pretty doable. Then after this, I'm gonna have to have dinner, and then I'm gonna come back and start doing other things. Like the videos I haven't done yet. But yeah, we'll get there. Let's go back here. We'll go up. We'll heal up. We'll get our life back. And then we've got to head all the way back to our northern area. So yeah, we are doing good. I'm dead tired. Alright, that's about it. I don't think we need to waste anything else really. Other than maybe a few Phoenix Downs a bit later, but other than that, we're good now. We're in a good spot. We don't need to waste money on potions that much. Now, we've got to get on our boat and head north. It should be pretty easy to do now. These enemies aren't that hard no more, so it means the water dudes won't be that hard. Well, yeah, probably be back on tomorrow, guys. I don't know if I'll do Minecraft tomorrow. I might just do this. Hopefully tomorrow morning will be a bit easier. Oh yeah, we're doing good. Alright, we're nearly there. Isn't that much better, guys? They're just so much easier to beat now. Mostly one hit. So where we're going to go is up here. It's not really hard no more, are they? Even a crazy horse is kind of a weak horse. Alright, let's go to it. Pump. Yep, so the crystal eye is what she needs. Can't see a thing, a blast this thing without my crystal eye. Who could have stolen it from me? Oh, what's this? My crystal eye, give it here. Don't worry, I have something to give you in exchange. Take this potion. It's the most amazing potion in my entire collection. A giant tonic. So that'll wake up the prince. She's gonna be very happy now. I know I'm not, but hey, she will be. Oh, that's just rude. Alright, we don't need to come back here again. We've got everything we need here. Let's go. We head back to the Alpenton castle. Yeah, so next area, guys, will be done doing the Earth temple, or Earth cavern, or what you want to call it. So yeah, we're gonna be cool in that department. So that area won't be hard. We'll probably get to the fire temple even, if maybe. Depends how we go. Depends on the mob, the enemies we get. Some of them are just easy, some are not hard at all. Some of these guys are going to be a pain in the ass. Can you let me attack? Good. Yeah, what? Alright, let's get going. And now we can go south, get the key, and we'll probably finish up. Next episode, guys, will be just going around, getting ready to get to the Earth Crystal. But the way things are going, we'll probably get this done in a few episodes. I mean, tomorrow, it might be just this game, I think. So I want to catch up on some Let's Plays and stuff like that, so... yeah. But yeah, I think we're ready to finish up. Now let's see the wizard, the king, the dude. This joint tonic, maybe which is what we need to break the curse and awaken the prince. I'll try it once. Should the curse be broken when he passed away? Your Highness, Your Highness. I was having a terrible nightmare. Am I still dreaming? You're the legendary voice. Something tells me I'm not dreaming. I still hear the legend as it was told to me by and my forefathers. A time for me to pass down on the mystic key to its rightful owners has come at last. Oh boy. Okay, mystic key, guys. We've got the mystic key. Now we can go and basically open any room we think we want to do. We can do whatever we want. It's basically saying that. Let's go over here. Now, the mystic key, guys, yeah, I can open anything at all. Alright, now let's start opening. Hammer, money, money, and okay. Hammer, I think you're the one with the hammer, aren't you? Yeah. Alright. That's it here, guys. We've got everything I need. Yep, everything in this town. So you know what? I hit about the 12 mark, guys. So we're going to do is next episode, we're going to go to the, I guess we're going to go to the west side of the world and do that side. And then we're going to go to the east. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I'll probably definitely be playing this tomorrow. I'll try to play earlier so we can get a bit longer hours in it. On that note, I'm gonna finish it up here, guys, because I'm done. I'm tired. Cheers.